everybody, Cinema Sickness here again to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. And today, headed out to Target where I got myself 2 titles on Blu-ray and also 2 titles on DVD, so let's take a look at everything I got. So the 2 DVDs I picked up today were the 2nd and 3rd season of Ancient Aliens. Both of these on sale right now for only $7.99, and I figured $8 was a good deal for both of these seasons. I do already have season 1 on DVD, so of course I want to get all the follow-up seasons to this show. Now, this is a show that I do enjoy watching and I am interested in, though I'm really not so sure why I enjoy it so much, because although I am very interested in aliens, I do believe there are some other life forms out there somewhere, whether they come to Earth or not. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, but I do believe there is something out there somewhere. So I am fascinated in hearing about people's thoughts on aliens. I love hearing all kinds of theories and whatnot, and even theories about them coming to Earth. You know, I might not necessarily believe that so much, but it is very interesting, and I do love hearing about it. But my main problem with this this entire series, and I did mention this when I did review season 1 a few months back, and it's the same thing. It's extremely opinionated, and that drives me insane. For a History Channel documentary, it should not be so incredibly opinionated. These should be theories. You should have arguments for and against stuff, but they don't. What happens is some guy goes, "We found this statue. The man looks like he's wearing a space helmet. There's tubes coming out of the back. Those could be oxygen tubes, and that is what it is. There's no other way to interpret this. It is a space helmet. Those are space or oxygen tubes. That is what it is. It can't be anything else. There's no questions. Aliens came to Earth." Are you seriously? Really? You don't think maybe that could be something else? You know, I'm okay with somebody saying maybe what this is this, and this, and it could say possibly that, you know, man went to space or aliens came down to Earth or something like that. Maybe that's what this is. It's a theory. I'm okay with that. If somebody wants to say this is a theory, that's great. But for the show to just go, nope, that's what it is. It can't be anything else. If you think it's anything else, you're an idiot. I hate that. Just way too opinionated. I would love to hear arguments against stuff. I would love to hear somebody go, "This looks like the man wearing a space helmet," and then somebody say, "Well, it looks like that, but what it probably is this," or, you know, "We think it's this," and, you know, fine. They both give your theories on why it is or isn't what it is, and that would be very interesting. I would love to hear, again, theories on stuff, not some douchebag saying, "No, this is what it is. It can't be anything else, and you're just wrong if you think so." That does bug me. So a show I do enjoy watching and listening to, but a show that at the same time kind of bugs me because it just is so incredibly opinionated. But regardless, like I said, I do enjoy watching it, so I had to pick these 2 seasons up. Now onto the Blu-rays I picked up, and the first one I actually grabbed from the electronics discount section, which most Targets do have within their electronics area. It's usually on an end cap somewhere, just a bunch of crap all thrown into a pile. It's usually not set up very nicely. But it's all kinds of weird discount electronics items, including DVDs and Blu-rays. Now granted, you won't come across DVDs and Blu-rays all the time, but occasionally you will, and you might actually get some pretty good deals. And I got one today for only $3.86. I got this high-powered action pack. This comes with 6 movies, all on Blu-ray, originally marked at $15.49, so that is quite a discount. This comes with The Yards, Equilibrium, Super Cop, No Code of Conduct, Hidden Assassin, and The Lookout. Now I do already have Super Cop and Equilibrium. Those I already have on DVD, and I will be keeping my DVD copies just for reasons of better picture quality and also some aspect ratio issues with this disc here. But getting those other 4 titles that I do not have for only $4 was a great deal. They're titles I definitely want to check out, and for basically $1 a piece, this was a fantastic find. So again, I highly recommend, if you're going to go to Target, definitely look for the little discount section within the electronics area. You never know what you're going to come across. And the last title I picked up from Target today was Hotel Transylvania. This here being the Blu-ray DVD Ultraviolet Combo Pack. And best of all, this is the Target exclusive, which comes with a bonus 3rd disc full of exclusive content. I was thinking about getting the Blu-ray 3D combo pack, but I passed on it just because this does come with the bonus 3rd disc. I did think it was kind of stupid, though, that Target didn't actually package that 3rd disc in with the the 3D combo pack as well. It seems like it would have made sense, but for some reason, they only packaged it with the Blu-ray DVD Ultraviolet combo pack. So I had to pick this one up today. This here's a movie that I just thought kind of looked not all that good from the trailers. I remember when I first saw the trailers for this, I just thought, it looks really mediocre. The jokes didn't seem all that funny. It just seemed like it was going to be a very mediocre CGI animated film. But as time went on, I did actually hear some pretty good reviews about this, and it got me more interested in seeing it. Because I do like the concept of the movie. I like the premise of it. It sounds really interesting. It just, again, didn't look all that good from the trailers. But since I have actually heard some pretty good things about it, I definitely look forward to checking this one out. So that's it for what I bought today, so now on to what I watched. And since the other day I checked out Moonrise Kingdom, a Wes Anderson movie, I started to think there's actually another Wes Anderson movie within my collection that I just picked up a few weeks ago that I haven't got around to watching yet. Figured today was the day, and that was the Darjeeling Limited, and I really hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. This was a real fun movie, definitely had that great artsy Wes Anderson feel. But I did read a few negative reviews on this film, and I think I understand why. Wes Anderson movies are usually very much along the lines of a dramedy. There's a good dramatic story going on, but there's a lot of humor within that story. So you're watching this great dramatic story, but you're cracking up laughing the entire time. The laughs weren't very strong in this movie. There were a few funny moments here and there, but for the most part, not a ton of laughs. Definitely a more dramatic story, just with a few comedic elements here and there. So perhaps that's why this movie got a few negative reviews on places like Amazon and whatnot. But I would have to disagree with those reviews. This movie was a hell of a lot of fun. Very Wes Anderson. It's very artsy, has just a great artistic feel to it. You can definitely tell it's one of his films, and it was just a really well-told and very fun story. I would definitely say this one is more of a road movie, kind of like the Bing Crosby and Bob Hope road movies, just again, not as much comedy. It's all about these three guys, all brothers, who things are going kind of bad in their lives. They all have their own little issues going on. Their mother's kind of a crazy recluse. She's run off to some nunnery somewhere to become a nun. Their father's passed away. And the one brother decides to kind of go on this spiritual journey with his other two brothers, but really we find out he's tricking them into going to see their mother, who he found, because they're not so keen on going to see her because she, again, is kind of crazy, doesn't necessarily want to see them. So they're not too happy once they find out that they're actually going on this trip. But throughout the trip, it actually does become a very spiritual trip for them. They kind of get to know themselves, get to know each other a little bit better. They really just, find, I don't want to say peace, because they don't change completely, but they just sort of calm down a bit. They realize maybe not everything in their life is so absolutely horrible. They find maybe sort of an inner peace within themselves. And it just is a really, really fun and very well done and enjoyable movie that I would highly recommend. If you like Wes Anderson movies, this is not one to skip out on. This is definitely one to see. You might not get as many laughs, although, like I said, you will certainly get a few. There were certainly some very funny moments in here, but they're just a lot less than some of Wes Anderson's other films. But again, a great one that I would recommend. Now, there is a bonus short film, actually, that you're supposed to watch before this, and I actually would recommend that, and it is called Hotel, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Chevalier. I think that's how you pronounce that. I'm not exactly sure, but I would recommend checking it out before you actually see this movie. And on this disc here, and I'm sure on the Blu-ray as well, you can actually choose to watch the short and then the movie. And again, I would recommend doing that because it is considered to be the part one of this film. And you don't need to watch it. It's not as if you don't watch it, you're not going to know what's happening during the entire film, but there are parts of this movie where they bring up that little short, or they mention something that happened in that short in the movie. So little parts where you do not need to actually see the short, but it will help. And when they reference something from the short, you'll actually understand what they're referencing and what they mean. You'll think back to the short you just saw, and you'll really get the full story. So again, I would recommend checking it out. I almost skipped over it, although I'm glad they call it, on the disc they call it part one of the movie. And I'm really glad they labeled it that way, because had they not labeled it like that, I would have just assumed it was some other little bonus short that had nothing to do with the actual movie. But because they called it part one and they called the actual movie part two, I knew they had something to do with each other, so I did watch it back to back. And again, I would recommend doing that. It definitely makes for a better experience watching the film. So again, a great movie, very well done, a great just, I will use the word dramedy, but a lot more heavy on the drama, not as much comedy, but a great road movie. Definitely one checking out. Well, we're checking out, had fantastic characters, a lot of fun cameos as well. Definitely a great Wes Anderson movie. If you're a fan of his, definitely watch it. So that's it for a bullet when I watched today. Definitely got some great titles today from a local Target. Definitely can't wait to check all those out. And also watching the Darjeeling Limited. It was a great movie, a very fun Wes Anderson film. Great road movie. Yes, perhaps more heavy on the drama as opposed to the comedy, which is why I probably read some negative reviews on it, but don't listen to them. It's a great movie, a real fun watch, and if you are a fan of Wes Anderson's work, this is one you must check out. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to see what I bought when I watch tomorrow. See ya. Now onto the Blu-rays I picked up, and the first one I actually grabbed out of the electronics discount section. And I usually find some good stuff in there at least once or twice a month.